lowly Cleveland Browns by 4 points. You can see Brandon Graham, my former teammate, laughing, smiling there. Nick Sirianni is taunting the Eagles crowd, his own crowd. Nick Sirianni is a coach for the Eagles. And you see Big Dom in the background, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and he's taunting his own crowd. Now, allegedly, Eagles fans were chanting, "Fire Nick," during the course of the game. Fire Nick Sirianni, going into his 4th year there. But after game, Sirianni said, quote, he was just excited to get the win. Shady, nobody on national television knows the Eagles, is more beloved by the Eagles, understands Eagles fans as much as you. This topic will be highly debated, but you have the most powerful and meaningful words about this topic. Do you love or hate Nick Sirianni mocking fans? And please, don't make me bring out the shady.
I was going to say, do we need to bring the calendar?
Please.
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. Right? You look at what Jalen Hurts talked about when he said him and Sirianni on the bye week, what they talked about. That first thing he said they talked about was, Nick, be yourself. Now, I don't love the haircut. but what I do love is when we were winning games, right? When we were the Eagles, everybody was talking about it on every network, every station, and we were going to the Super Bowl. That's what he did. Yeah. It wasn't our fans, but he was talking trash to fans. He was engaged with the crowd, right? And some people liked it, some people hated it. But that was him being himself. That's going back to winning football. Go back to the basics, right? If that's what you do. I'll say this about Nick Sirianni, because, like, I think when you have something you don't appreciate it and then he's gone, you might miss it.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
So since he's gotten to the NFL, right, he's 37-19. That's the 5th best record in the NFL.
That's very good.
Right? On the road, he's been in the NFL. He's 19-9 on the road. That's the 2nd best in the NFL.
That's good.
So one thing he's teaching you is that, we win games. Every year he's been the Eagles head coach, all he does is go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? So in his worst year, we go to the playoffs.
Yep.
Our best year, we go to the Super Bowl.
Cooking.
I think Nick Sirianni is a really good coach. Yes, sometimes he has some questionable calls.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, okay, as much as we want to blame him, can we blame some of the players? Yeah. Right? On defense, or on offense. The blame goes around. I think Nick Sirianni is a really good coach. And the last point I'm going to give him, and it's like a pass. When you win games and you are successful, you lose coordinators. That's what happens.
That's it.
If every coach can just win games and keep the coordinators, they'll probably always be dominant.
Yeah.
It don't work like that.
Yeah.
So I think Nick can be better.
Yeah.
I think the players can be better. Yeah. But I do respect and I appreciate Nick Sirianni as our head coach. And I don't want him to leave. And the last point I'm going to say.
Take your time,
come on, dog. I don't know if I've been to Philadelphia and actually been there, right?
Been there.
The fans is wild.
They are.
I always love Philly fans because they don't keep it real with you.
Yeah.
If you playing good, great job.
Yeah.
If you playing bad, you'll get booed. I watched Santa Claus on Christmas get snowballs thrown at me because we lose the game.
Yes, sir.
So all I'm saying is, it's okay to give a little trash back to the fans. They're not worried about it.
Here's why I hate it. I hate it.
I say all that. So that's why I hate it.
Here's why I hate it. I'll be honest with y'all. Shady played in Philly forever, enough to be the Eagles' all-time rushing leader. I played there for 3 years. Nick Sirianni, you're going on your 4th year in Philadelphia and you still don't understand your fan base? Make that make sense. The Eagles fans are the most passionate fan base in the National Football League because their expectations are high, rightfully so. That passion leads them to stand there in the stands with 8 inches of snow versus the Detroit Lions in 2013 because they care. That's why they throw snowballs at Santa. That's why in 2015, I think it was the first quarter of the Jacksonville Jags game, 2014, we're getting booed after the first series. I remember that. I was on the field. They're passionate. They care. So you can't mock them for the same passion. Sirianni, you should know the fans by now. It's your 4th year, big dog. They're not chanting, "Fire Nick," because they genuinely want you fired at that moment in time. Maybe some do, but they have higher expectations, and you should too. So to go back and mock the same fans, those same fans whose passion leads them to support you incessantly, the same fans whose passion leads them to just want the best out of you, the offense, and the team, I just don't understand how you don't understand your own fan base. That's why I hate it, man.
Yeah. Look, as a former player, as a player on the field, I love it. But now that I'm a media and I'm walked back away from the game, I think I really hate it. And they're passionate because they want to be good. They have not been good the last 12 games. They're 4-8. So this is why they're chanting, allegedly, "Fire Nick, fire Nick." And, dude, you barely won at home against Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns by 4 points. I would love for you to say, hey, you know what? We didn't play as well. We're going to get back to work. We're going to get back to the drawing board. We're going to fix it. We're going to move on. But when you're giving it back to Philly fans, I'm sure some Philly fans actually liked it because that's sort of what they want. But as a guy covering it now, I'm just like, you've given up, like you've scored 0 points in 5 straight games in the first quarter. Like I can go on and on and on the list. Like we just need to play better. Just say we need to play better. Don't egg them on because now it becomes a national story. And now you better believe in the facility we're going to talk about it.
Have to.
Because It's just a bad look for you. You barely want. If you were 12-4, or if you were 8-4 the last 12, yeah, come on. Yeah. But you're 4-8. You haven't been good.
Chase, real quick though, because and I agree with you for the most part. But it's Philadelphia, and everybody's not built Philadelphia. There's some coaches and players that can't play and can't coach in Philadelphia, right? I think he has the attitude and the heart to do that, and the thick skin. I watch players like Ben Simmons, right? Really good player. You go against the fans a little bit, they say something about you a little bit, and now you go high and you go ducking? Huh? I watch coach like Chip Kelly. We loved him when you got here. When you face some adversity, you go high and you go missing, you want to get out of there? Listen, Philadelphia is a special place. Everybody can't coach here, everybody can't play there. I'm going to leave it like that.
Yeah. I hate it. Every bit of it. Because number one, the dude that you're competing with out there on the football field and the team you're competing against is the Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson. If this is Patty Mahomes, Josh Allen, and it's a big-time game and this happens and you chirping back and forth with the fan, cool. Nick Sirianni, what you do special, and my dog just said what you do special is you win, dog. All right? You are 36-19, and you have been to a Super Bowl in Philadelphia in 4 years, and you've been to the playoffs every single year, dog. Why you even entertaining that? Shady always brings up a really good point. You always say, dude, talk bad about you, this reporter, then you seen him. This the dude that's talking? I ain't even got nothing for him. I ain't saying nothing for him. He can't even put these cleats on and be in my shoes. That's how I feel about the fans. I win around here, y'all. Y'all can boo all y'all want. Look at it. Look at the numbers. I don't even owe y'all a response. Nick, leave them fans alone. And number two, look who you playing. You feel what I'm saying? If it's Patty, if it's Josh, if it's a big-time game, I understand. Y'all thought I couldn't do it. I understand all that. I'm cool with that. Yeah, coach, talk to him. But this right here, it don't even deserve a response, is what I'm saying. It don't deserve one, dog.
I don't think it's a response. I think
He's
having fun with it, though. It's one thing to respond to something, the other thing to he's laughing, he's joking, the players behind him laughing. Like, it's a fun thing. Y'all sensitive, man. Let me not joke with y'all.
Because I was genuinely curious thinking about this. I'm looking at Nick Sirianni right now. James, you might agree with this. How I looked at Joe Burrow. Both elite. We had them in like this top tier of coaching. But what did they both do great?
Win.
It factor.
They both do one. Nick Sirianni doesn't call defensive plays like a Mike Tomlin. He doesn't call defensive plays like when Brian Flores was head coaching. He doesn't call offensive plays like a Sean McVay or a Kyle Shanahan. He's just a game manager. He wins. But he ain't been winning as much as of late. 4-8 over the last 12. He's 3-2 on the season. So now if I'm looking at Nick Sirianni and I'm like, the thing you do best, you no longer do it great, then what do you do best? Because you're not an offensive savant. You're not a defensive mastermind. So now what you do best is win, but you ain't been winning like you used to winning. So now I'm just like, Sirianni, I need you to get back to being elite at that thing. Mike Tomlin's offenses have been atrocious, but that defense gonna play. And that's what he does. Kyle Shanahan this year, his defense hasn't been good, but that offense still did what they did last week against the Seahawks. So when I'm just curious, Shady, at what point, and maybe you don't care, but at what point do you start to care, like 4-8 over the last 12?
It's funny because, like, my agent, Drew Rosenhaus, he told me, he said, listen, I can make any numbers. That's why I hate numbers. I can make any numbers look good. So you're saying that the 12 and all that, but if we go to his duration of his career, right, as the Eagles head coach, it looks really good as a winner.
Of course.
So we play this game, too. I don't have the time to do it. I'll say this, though. Like, I'm not worried about Nick because at his worst, better yet, at the Cowboys' worst, they getting smoked by 47 points. They getting blown out. They losing all the home games. They win against the weak teams. They lose against the good teams. That's not us. That's not the Eagles. That's not going to be Nick Sirianni. At Nick Sirianni's worst, we're going to the playoffs. Every year. If my quarterback's not playing well, we're still going. Defense is looking bad. We're still going to the playoffs. So my thing is we'll always have a chance with Nick Sirianni. You know what it is, though? It ain't Nick Sirianni. I think it's me, though. I think y'all find a way to get under my skin. Not the day, though. Hey, calendar, it's a victory Monday. I'm happy. God is good.
Victory Monday. All right, well, it's a victory Monday for the Bengals with the whole world watching last night, Sunday night, over 20 million people. The Bengals got their second win of the season. It was do or die, dire circumstances. Has all faith been restored in the Bengals and Joe Burrow? What a game. We will talk about it after the break. Because I was genuinely curious thinking about this. I'm looking at Nick Sirianni right now. James, you might agree with this. How I looked at Joe Burrow. Both elite.
yeah, top.
We had them in like this top tier of
Oh,
coaching.
they lose.
But what did they both do great?